Hey, welcome back. On the left side here again, I got Genie open with the pyBean tool, and on here the right side again the virtual environment is activated. So today, what I'm going to do is to uh, uh, program the version 3. Remember the last time the voice recognizer will pick up everything that I say and translate that to text. Now, I don't want that. What I want is really for the recognizer to recognize certain sentence as command and only execute those. For that, I like to start the sentence as long as the recognizer um, pick up the first two words as Mr. Bean. uh, he will I want it to recognize that as a command and do something and not uh, interpret everything that I say. So I'll do that. I'll show you how I did that now. So what I do is I save this as the version 3, pyBean 3. Save. Okay, it's pyBean 3 now. Okay, I think I don't need this anymore. Okay, now this is the loop where I have the response return from the voice input, and when I give it a command stop, it will stop. So I want to modify this. Now let's check whether the input the return is a success first. First, before that, let me comment this out. Okay, comment this out. Comment this out. Now remember, the return is by the voice input is a dictionary. So I want to check whether is it a success if the voice underscore input, the success key is true. If it's successful, then what I do is I'll try to pick up the first two words. For that, I will first create a list input. I'll call it input underscore text list by splitting the string input text and split all the spaces. Okay, now the input text is now in a list. Now I want to check whether the first two words is Mr. Bean. Oh, before let's do this. I haven't create the input text variable. Input text would be the voice input text. Now to make it easy, what I do is I change everything to uppercase. Okay, then I will split the text. After that, I will test if input underscore text list, the first word which is has an index of 0 is in consists of this: Mr. or Mr. or Mr. and okay, the second word input, let me do a line wrap. Input underscore text list, the second item is equal to bin. Let me just enclose the whole thing in a bracket. Then we interpret that as a command, and we capture the rest of the words and merge that into a string. I'll call this a query. I'll give it a name called query, asking what Mr. Bean, query as in asking Mr. Bean to do something, and I will join every item in the list. Join input text list and join from which item, from the second one to the end. Okay. So if the first word is Mr. Bean, then he will the query will be created. Let's test it out and see whether it works. Let's print out query. Okay, I'll do this. Formatted query, and would be the word query. Let's see. Okay, let's test it out. pyBean, I want is version 3. Test. So here you see the dictionary being written. Mr. Bean, say something. Here you see the when the text is Mr. Bean, he will the query variable is being assigned to something. Mr. Bean, good morning. Here the query is output good morning. Otherwise, it just print the dictionary. Mr. Bean, good afternoon. here. Okay, so let's stop the program. So now I think I don't want this. Let me clear the terminal. I don't want this anymore. I'll leave the query for a moment. So we want it to stop. Just indent this properly. Okay, one more. Now if we issue a stop command, I want it to stop. So what I'll do is, if the query, if the word stop is in query, that means I can say, Mr. Bean, please stop. Mr. Bean, stop whatever you're doing. As long as the word stop is inside my sentence, I want it to stop. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's don't just use stop, because I think let's also include the word quit. If the word quit is in query, or stop is in query, includes this, or the word exit in query, we'll set the loop to false and the program to stop. Let's test this out. Mr. Bean, good morning. Mr. Bean, how is your day? I think it's taking up my voice, but we didn't start the sentence with Mr. Bean, and so nothing is printed out. Mr. Bean, how is your day? Mr. Bean, stop. I think due to my accent, Google is not picking up. Mr. Bean, exit. Mr. Bean, please exit. Mr. Bean, stop. It's interpreted as stop. Okay, let me try again. Mr. Bean, quit. Mr. Bean, quit. I think my Asian accent is creating some problem. Mr. Bean, stop. Mr. Bean, stop. Mr. Bean, stop. Mr. Bean, stop. Mr. Bean, exit. Mr. Bean, exit.